Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Daytov Challenge Roth. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA Fly Human Fly Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Outrigger Kona Resort and Spa, stay longer, save more. And our Challenge Athletes Foundation, we've now raised $191 million, sent out over 52,000 grants to challenge athletes all over the planet. Our next guest, Mr. Philip Seipp, who is the coach for Laura Philipp, but more importantly, has been a coach for how long?
Not that long. I started to get interested in sports science during my studies at the University of Heidelberg.
Yes.
And yeah, then I developed that step by step. Like I worked as a teacher, and step by step.
What were you teaching?
I teach the German language.
Okay.
And sports science or physical education.
Yes.
And these were the two main subjects.
Yes.
And yeah, then step by step I came into it.
But you started with soccer.
Yeah, that's right. But like I was into performance testing and
VO2 max and that type of thing.
Yeah, like strength diagnostics and physical performance diagnostics at the Olympic Center in Germany.
Okay.
And yeah, so that was my background during my studies.
Yes.
And so yeah, somehow I got into this.
Yeah, and so then when you find endurance sports and triathlon through Laura?
I raced in triathlon before.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I raced with Sebi in a team and so on. And then I stopped racing and I met Laura. She was into rock climbing and then she started racing and I told her that maybe she can achieve more with a plan. So we got our second relationship.
So, and how do you balance that? I mean, being coach and couple.
Honestly, I don't believe in balance. In this case, like we try to do it in harmony.
Yes.
But I think being a professional athlete,
there's no balance.
There's no balance.
It's 1,000%.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking three sports, and not just three sports, but strength training, flexibility, mental side, all of it.
Yeah, like the holistic approach, even the economic side of racing, to put the puzzle together. But I don't care if it's triathlon or any other sport. Like if you want to do something on a high level,
yes,
you have to commit at a certain point.
Right, you definitely have to commit. So now you coach Laura, you coach Sebastian Kienle, you coach Rico Bogen and Daniel Bækkegård, right, among others, I'm sure. Yeah. But every one of those guys, I mean, Rico is focusing shorter distance, or 70.3-ish and T100. Daniel is mainly longer distance, 70.3 and full. Laura is full and 70.3. How do you balance younger athlete, older athlete, and making sure you're getting the best out of them?
Like first of all, I try to get an impression of the person, and the approach is to find individual ways to individual performances, and to develop a person to the potential.
Right.
And and then I don't believe that T100 and Ironman and whatever is so far apart. So
it's not that different.
It is different, definitely, but it is about the education. It is about the different areas you have to develop, and there can be a personal level, there's a physiological level, there's a motoric level, there's a strength level, and so on. And you try to find a profile, and you can see clear strengths, and you can see clear weaknesses, and then it's about to tackle the bottleneck all the time and to see how to widen it and how to develop an athlete into his or her full potential.
So here you've got Laura, who
Yes.
at this time, and a lot of people come into this, they say, oh my God, Laura ran 2:38 and she just won Hamburg, and she went 8:03. Yeah. They don't see what it took to get to that point. You were there from the very beginning when she transitioned from rock climbing to getting into this. What were the biggest challenges?
Well, that's a good question. I think the biggest challenge is to maintain a good work for 10 years now.
Yes.
Or like maybe more than 10 years. And
she was racing in like 14.
Yes,
looking back.
Yeah.
Going back 2014.
I think she had her debut in 14 on a 70.3, I guess.
Yep.
And she was forced to race as a pro from the beginning on. And because she was in the Erdinger team, and obviously this was a complete different world, and we had to learn the triathlon world from the scratch. And but I think the recipe might be like to be ready to learn and to improve and to do this every year, every month, every week, to be open and to be ready to do changes and to evaluate these changes if they work or not, and then you get a learning curve.
So it's funny because it's 2025. I look at 2014, her third behind Daniela Rief at the Euro Champs in Wiesbaden, right, 70.3, right, and and then she 2015 Challenge Heilbronn, she wins there, and 16 70.3 Mallorca. So there's little bonus points, like there's little, you're seeing growth, you're seeing someone who can be the best, but then to actually become the best is a different deal.
Yeah, and if you look at these times, like even Daniela was at a complete different stage in her career.
Right.
Like I think she did the transition to middle distance and long distance racing somewhere there after the Olympics in London, I guess.
She did.
And and we had a whole different world in triathlon.
And really, at that point, people went through the Olympic program and they didn't get into longer distance until they're in their 30s. A lot of them.
Yeah, no, Daniela was younger.
She was but late 20s. But she had gone to 2 Olympic Games.
Yes.
Yeah, but she was really one of the first to do that. Before that, like Jan didn't get in until he was, until after the 2012 Games, right? That's when he started 2014-ish, 13 and 14. So now we're seeing Magnus coming in and Rico coming in when they're very, very young to 70.3 and then the full.
Yeah, I guess all of them, they have a background somewhere in racing or in high performance sports somehow. And then we have seen that people are performing well earlier on the longer distance. Sam Laidlaw is a good example. He won the World Championships very early in his biography. And and obviously it's way more interesting at the moment to race the longer distances, because I think if you look at Challenge Roth, for example, if you try to compare this, you have to compare it with a Olympic race, maybe.
No question.
But there is no World Cup race coming close to something like this event.
No.
In total, yeah.
Right.
And I think that simply attracts people.
Yes. So it's just going.
And maybe a super honest part about this is people, they are able to make a living out of it if they perform well on the longer distances. So that's a nice promise to young athletes. And so you see the development, and it's crazy fast at the moment. Have
you been surprised by a performance that Laura had? Like when she won Barcelona in her first Ironman 2018 and went like 8:34, were you surprised, or did you feel like the training was pointing towards that?
So I'm not surprised because I know what she's capable of.
Right, so, you see all the numbers, yes.
And I think there is an option that it goes, but I'm always surprised because Laura's performances, if you look at it, her consistency is close to 100%.
Yes.
So she is in a way a very, very good racer, and she can dig herself into these races, no matter if it's a super good day or just a 90% day. So she's always able to dig herself into this,
right,
and bring a nice race out of it, and that's her personal quality, and that's something that surprises me very often, because I think many people would have thrown away the race or call it a day, and this is something she never does.
No, she stays hard. Yeah, and it's funny because going back to 2014, she did 4 70.3s and then 6 70.3s and 16 and 6. So she has done a lot of racing, and I always think a mark of a coach is when the athlete is available and racing at a high level. And every time they go to the line, it's pretty predictable they're going to be on a podium. right? Laura's always going to be on the podium or fighting to get there. Yeah. So when she went to Hamburg, did you have a feel that she was ready for that type of race?
Yes, and the other hand is that we took a long break during this winter.
Yes.
Because maybe you've seen, like, she committed to the T100 last year.
Right.
And she had to race after Nice. And on the other hand, I wanted her to enjoy the party after Nice. And there are a lot of chances to have a celebration of your World Championship title, or just to show up in German media. And these two races after Nice, they were tough. Vegas plus Dubai. Yes. And that took a lot of her, and this was something where I was surprised that she finished that strong in these both races.
Yes.
And then we said, okay, we have to do a complete build-up, and we have to change things. Obviously, we have seen other people becoming a world champion and struggling the year after.
Yes.
And that's why we said, okay, we lock the door, and we stay a long time at home and enjoy being home, then building it like in tiny little baby steps.
Yes.
And we followed our structure with the performance testing, and we had some surprises because I said you can't reach goals with the same recipe than before, and that's why we did a lot of cross-country skiing in winter, for example.
I saw a lot of video.
Yeah, have a different movement pattern. And so for me, there was an uncertainty. And in performance testing, we saw that she's building a very good run shape.
Yes.
But not that strong bike shape, for example. And so we went on a training camp on Mallorca in April, I think.
Yeah.
Just to make sure the bike shape is coming as well, because we were lacking some kilometers on the bike,
sure.
Obviously because we went to the snow. And so this is an interesting process. Same with the swimming. She got Marco Koch, a former world champion from swimming, as a swim coach, and especially for the motoric education. And so he did a great job together with Laura. And so we have some improvements there. And so there was not the clear expectation. Like the clear expectation was we want her in the better version, and to have the World Championships in Kona on the horizon.
Right.
Obviously, the thing where Laura was lacking in the past was a too big gap to the lead swimmers. So we focused on that work, to work into a profile which could help us in Kona.
Well, and speaking of Kona, when I was just mentioning to Laura, when I look at Kat Matthews, Annie Hogg, Taylor Knibb, Laura Philipp, Lucy Charles Barkley, Chelsea Sodaro, Julie Doron, there's not a weak link in that group.
No, and I think you missed a few others.
I'm sure there's a bunch of others. There's a bunch of others going to be a real
And it gives me a big smile to see that all these ladies are working hard, and you see more and more professional teams, like media-wise, from the coaching side, then from the material side, and I think the game improves, and
no question.
The sports attracts more women, and and I'm really looking forward to a super interesting race in Kona, and you will see, like Lucy missed the World Championship race last year by a tiny little thing. Like she was there, but she was not able to toe the line.
Right.
And for sure, she's ready to rock.
And you know what she's done in Kona.
Definitely. Yeah. And so you will see. I think we will see a new level in
no
Kona,
question.
And very tight racing, and so there are many layers in this race, and this is something that really drives me and gives me a big smile to work with Laura towards Kona and to give it a go.
Yes.
What's possible from our side.
Well, and obviously she's been third and second here at Challenge Roth, which is this legendary event. What would it mean for her to win this, to go along with Hamburg and go along with her other big wins in Nice?
Yeah, for sure. For us, it's just 2-hour drive to Roth, so it is kind of a home race for her. And we decided to do the German triple because we were tired of international flights. So our first really, like, obviously I have been to Texas with Daniel earlier the year, but we decided to shrink down the energy consuming things for Laura a little, just that she can have a breeze.
Right.
And we don't know if this pays off, but obviously her first interconti flight this year will be a flight
to Kona,
to San Fran, and then to Kona. And so I hope this is an energy build-up, to give her the tailwind she needs for this Kona race this year.
What's fast
and what it means to win Challenge Roth.
Yes.
Obviously, Challenge Roth is one of the North Star events in our sport.
No question.
And if you know Laura, she wants to take this box. But in the end, it is a long distance race. You have to get it together one day. And today we are sitting here with 35 degrees. Let's see.
So when usually people, you came up with a blueprint, you won Ironman World Championship in Nice, or Laura did. Usually people go, okay, I got it now. I know what we need to do. And you decided we need to basically rip that up and start. This is a new season. This is different. Kona's different than Kona and Roth, and we're not doing Nice this year, so it's going to be different. Most people would just we'll follow the blueprint that worked last year, because she was second at Roth, and then she won Nice. Everything's going great, but that shows when a coach is thinking ahead of coaches have to be thinking way ahead. You're thinking, this was great for this year, but next year needs to be different.
100%. And I think the definition of insanity is doing all and over the
same thing.
And expecting different results. And Kona is a complete different race. And the other hand is we have a super nice development in the sports, like driven by T100, driven by the Olympic step up from, like, Taylor is coming from the Olympic Games,
right.
Like she's bringing a new speed into it.
Yes.
And already
Julie Derone, yes.
Julie same game, but Taylor was the beginning of the development, and she killed all of them on the bike. And Taylor had a learning year in Kona, But for sure,
she's learned.
If you see Taylor, it gives me a big smile that she's full into it. She's fully committed.
Oh, yeah.
And you will see a different Taylor this year in Kona.
No question. Yeah. No question. Yeah, no, it's...
And then she's working with Dan Lorang, a German coach, and Lawrence Fenling. And so these ladies, they build a network around them, and that's great.
It's the fact that, like we were talking with Laura about, steel sharpens steel. When you have a race like she had with Kat, she'll get tired of it, but they'll be talking about that as one of those classic events, 803, 805, and they'll be talking about that forever and ever. Do you see that Laura's ready for, I mean, obviously depending how hot it is, to go sub 8 here, become the first woman to do that?
That's a good question. I don't care. There are so many factors we don't have in hand.
Right.
And if it's that hot like today, no way.
Yeah.
So obviously then you have this discussion about neoprene or not, and I think it's definitely non-wetsuit. Then you have the dynamics on the course, especially here on the second loop. It's getting crowded. How much risk do you want to go?
Yeah.
And so on. And it is a question of time that it's going to happen. And if it's happened by Lucy, by Chelsea, by Kat, by, I don't know, all of them are able to do it, and it's just a question when is the right day to do it, and obviously the race in Hamburg was tactically driven, and if it comes to a race, and the championships races are naturally tactically driven, but overall the strategy what we are running is improving the sport. So the strategy is targeting sub 8, but the tactic on the day is something different, and if you tackle it with a tactic on a sub 8 on a very hot day, that goes south, and let's see. So strategically we are on the way. Tactically, I don't think we gonna see a sub 8 on Sunday.
Okay. Philip, thank you so much for taking time. We really appreciate last year you showcased CAF here. That was very nice of you. Appreciate that. And congrats, man. Rico Bogen is a wonderful young man. That kid could win Kona one of these days.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to develop him towards the long distance.
Yes.
And I'm super happy. Like, I have him since the beginning of this year. And now he is locked in for 6 weeks for training for T100 at 9th of August in London. And so Rico has to work. And he will. And the part is, like, we need the calm weeks to make a development. He came to our house yesterday.
Yes.
So we had a super nice one-on-one coaching day together, and I'm looking forward to see him in 2 weeks again.
He's not coming here to watch?
No, we decided that he's taking some time off in the Alps. He's now in the Engadin in high altitude training camp, and today he has a assessment for athletics.
Yes.
And we are on track, and we want to develop together to the highest level possible.
Philip, appreciate your time, bud. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob.
Again, Breakfast with Bob. We are at Challenge Roth. Hold on, we will be right back.